You know that feeling when someone speaks to you in English, and you hear the words, but your brain just can't keep up? It's like trying to catch water with your hands. The sounds slip right through your fingers, and you're left standing there with a polite, confused smile. I've been there. I spent years studying grammar, memorizing vocabulary lists, but when it came to a real conversation, I felt completely lost. The problem wasn't my knowledge. The problem was my ears. They weren't trained for the speed, the rhythm, the music of everyday English. And that's exactly what we're going to fix, together, starting right now. Welcome to your daily practice for fluency. I'm your guide on this journey, and this is more than just a listening exercise. This is about rewiring your brain to understand English as it's actually spoken by real people in real situations. We're going to move beyond the perfect, slow English of textbooks and dive into the messy, beautiful, and fast world of daily conversations. The goal here is not just to understand the words, but to feel the flow, to predict what comes next, and to finally turn that confusing noise into clear, understandable language. Our method is simple, but powerful. We will listen to a conversation first at a slightly slower pace, just to get comfortable with the topic and the main ideas. Then, we'll listen to it again at a natural, native speed. This is the key. This repetition is like strength training for your listening muscles. The first listen builds your confidence, the second listen challenges your brain to catch everything in real time. After that, we'll break it down. We'll look at the specific phrases, the linking of words, the reductions that native speakers use without even thinking. Things like gonna instead of going to, or how what did you often sounds like wadaya. These aren't mistakes, they're the secret code to fluent comprehension. Our first conversation today is a classic, ordering coffee. It seems simple, right? But this is where so many learners get tripped up by the speed and the questions. So, get ready. Find a quiet space, put on your headphones if you can, and let's begin. Listen carefully the first time just for the gist. Don't worry about every single word. Just try to answer this: what kind of coffee does the customer order? Okay? Here we go. Okay, so how did you do? Did you catch what the customer ordered? Don't worry if it felt a bit fast, that's completely normal. This is our training ground. Let's listen to that conversation again, but this time, I'll play it at a slower pace. I want you to focus on the flow of the questions and answers. Here it is. Barista, hi there, what can I get for you today? Customer, hi. Can I get a large latte, please? Barista, sure thing. Would you like that hot or iced? Customer, iced, please. And can I have an extra shot of espresso in that? Barista, absolutely. That'll be a large iced latte with an extra shot. Anything else for you? Customer, no, that's all, thanks. Barista, okay, your total is $5.75. Now, that was clearer, right? You probably heard large latte, iced, and extra shot. But notice how the barista speaks in chunks. What can I get for you today is a single unit of meaning. This is crucial for listening. We don't hear individual words, we hear phrases. Now, for the real challenge. Let's listen to the exact same conversation at a natural, everyday speed. This is how it would really sound in a busy coffee shop. Ready? Listen for how the words connect together. Barista, hey, what can I get for ya? Customer, hey. Yeah, can I get a large latte? Barista, sure. Hot or iced? Customer, iced, please. And can I get an extra shot in that? Barista, yep, large iced latte with an extra shot. Anything else? Customer, that's it, thanks. Barista, cool, that's $5.75. Hear the difference? It's faster, more casual. The pronunciation changes. For you became for ya. What can I get sounded like what can I get? This is connected speech, and it's the #1 reason learners struggle with listening comprehension. Your brain is trained for textbook English, but real English is full of these links and reductions. Let's break it down. First, the question, what can I get for you? In fast speech, what can I often blends into what can I. The T sound in what becomes a soft D because it's followed by can. This is called assimilation. Then, for you reduces to for ya because it's quicker to say. This isn't lazy English, it's efficient English. Another key point is the intonation. The barista's voice goes up at the end of what can I get for ya, indicating a question. Listen for that musicality, it gives you clues about the meaning. A great tip for you, when practicing, shadow the speaker. That means repeating what you hear immediately after, trying to copy the rhythm and speed. Even if you can't do it perfectly, it trains your mouth and ears to work together. This conversation also uses common polite phrases like can I get? And anything else? These are gold mines for daily use. Remember, fluency isn't about using big words, it's about mastering these small, frequent exchanges. Now, I want you to listen to the natural version one more time. This time, close your eyes and just try to feel the rhythm. Don't translate, just listen. Ready? Amazing! You're already training your ears to hear the music of English, not just the words. That shift in focus is what separates intermediate learners from advanced speakers. But here's a secret most courses don't tell you: understanding one conversation is a great start, but real fluency comes from being able to switch between different topics quickly, just like in real life. Your brain needs to get flexible. So, let's build on that coffee shop confidence and dive into another incredibly common situation: bumping into a neighbor and making small talk. This is where we practice the casual, social English that builds relationships. Small talk might seem simple, but it's packed with subtle cues and predictable patterns. Nailing this will make you sound natural and friendly. Our conversation today is between two neighbors, Alex and Jamie, who meet while getting their mail. Listen first for the general mood. Is it friendly? Rushed? Just get a feel for the interaction. Here's the slower version. Alex: oh, hi Jamie. How are you doing? Jamie: hey Alex. I'm good, thanks. Just getting the mail. How about you? Alex: not too bad, just keeping busy. Did you have a good weekend? Jamie: yeah, it was pretty quiet. Just did some gardening. The weather was finally nice. Alex: I saw that. Your flowers look great. Jamie: thanks. Well, I should probably get going. Have a good one. Alex: you too. See you around. Okay, friendly and brief, right? You heard key phrases like "How are you doing?" and "Have a good one." Now, let's turn up the speed to real life. In natural speech, this cheerful chat will be much faster, with more connected sounds. Listen closely for how the words blend together this time. Alex, oh, hey Jamie. How you doing? Jamie, hey Alex. I'm good, thanks. Just getting the mail. 'Bout you? Alex, not too bad, keepin' busy. Have a good weekend? Jamie, yeah, 'twas pretty quiet. Just did some gardening. Weather was finally nice. Alex, I saw that. Your flowers look great. Jamie, thanks. Well, I should probably get going. Have a good one. Alex, you too. See ya. Hear the difference? The ing ending softened to in, getting became gettin', gardening became gardening. This is very common in informal speech. Also, how about you was reduced about you, and did you have became have a good weekend, with the did you almost disappearing. This is because in questions, we often skip words that are understood from context. A vital tip for you, in small talk, intonation is everything. Notice how Jamie's voice goes up on "How you doin'" to show a question and warmth, and then down on "I'm good, thanks" to show a conclusion. When Alex says your flowers look great, the pitch is higher on great to show genuine enthusiasm. Mimic this music. It conveys meaning as much as the words do. Practice this conversation with a friend, or even by yourself, recording your voice. Try to sound not just correct, but natural and warm. This is how you move from being understood to being liked. Now that you're getting the hang of casual chats, let's level up to a scenario that often makes learners nervous: the telephone conversation. Without body language or facial expressions, listening becomes your only tool, and it can feel intimidating. But what if I told you that phone calls are actually easier because people tend to speak more clearly and use predictable structures? That's right. Once you learn the common patterns, you'll feel a surge of confidence every time your phone rings. Today, we're going to practice a friend calling another friend to make plans for the weekend. This is perfect for learning how to suggest, accept, and arrange details, all essential skills for social fluency. Listen to this first version at a comfortable pace. Pay attention to how they propose the plan and settle on a time and place. Here we go. Anna, hi Mark, it's Anna. Mark, oh, hey Anna. What's up? Anna, not much. I was wondering if you're free this Saturday? Mark, let me check. Yeah, Saturday should work. What did you have in mind? Anna, I was thinking we could go see that new movie at the Grand Cinema. Mark, that sounds great. What time does it start? Anna, there's a show at 7:30 p.m. We could meet for a coffee before, maybe at 6 o'clock? Mark, perfect. Let's meet at the Daily Grind Cafe opposite the cinema. Anna, okay, awesome. I'll see you then. Mark, looking forward to it. Bye. Good. You probably grasped the main idea, making plans for a movie. Now, let's hear how this sounds in real life, with all the natural speed and flow. People on the phone often speak a bit faster to keep the conversation moving. Listen for the linking words and the casual tone. Anna, hey Mark, it's Anna. Mark, oh, hey Anna. What's up? Anna, not much. Was wondering if you're free this Saturday? Mark, let me check. Yeah, Saturday's good. What did you have in mind? Anna, I was thinking we could go see that new movie at the Grand Cinema. Mark, sounds great. What time's it start? Anna, there's a show at 7:30. We could grab a coffee before, like at 6? Mark, perfect. Let's just meet at the Daily Grind, opposite the cinema. Anna, okay, awesome. See ya then. Mark, looking forward to it. Bye. Hear how much more fluid that was. I was wondering if became was wondering if, and let me check turned into let me check. These contractions are the heart of spoken English. Also, notice how Mark says what did you have in mind, instead of what did you have in mind. The reduction of did you to dia is classic. Another key point is the use of like in like at 6. It's a filler word that makes the suggestion sound softer and more informal. Here's a powerful tip for phone conversations: always confirm the details. In this talk, Anna confirms the time, 7:30, and Mark confirms the place, the Daily Grind. This prevents misunderstandings. When you're on a call, don't be afraid to repeat the time or address back to the other person. It shows you're listening and ensures you're both on the same page. Practice this dialogue by role-playing both parts. Focus on mimicking the rhythm, especially the rising intonation in questions like what time's it start. This will make your own phone skills much more natural. Now, listen to the natural version once more, and this time, try to shadow it by speaking along softly. Fantastic! You're mastering the rhythm of social English, and that confidence will shine through in every interaction. But let's be honest, even with all the practice in the world, there's one situation that can still make anyone's heart race a little: being lost in a new city and having to ask for directions. Your textbook might have a perfect map, but real life has crowded streets, noisy traffic, and friendly strangers who speak quickly. This is where your listening skills become your superpower. Today, we're going to practice a conversation that will turn that anxiety into assurance. You'll learn how to ask for help clearly and, most importantly, how to understand the rapid-fire instructions you'll get in return. Our scenario is a tourist, Luca, who is trying to find the Central Museum. He stops a local, Sarah, to ask for help. This dialogue is packed with prepositions of place, sequence words, and common phrases used in guiding someone. Listen to this first version at a slower speed. Focus on the key landmarks and the order of the directions. A crucial tip for understanding past tense conversations: focus on the time markers and the stressed verbs. Words like Saturday, morning, evening give you the framework, while the past tense verbs carry the main action. In fast speech, we often drop auxiliary verbs like did in questions when speaking informally, but the main verb remains in its base form or past tense, so your brain can still grasp the meaning. Also, practice the intonation. When Ben says it was great, his voice might rise slightly on great to show enthusiasm. Mimic that emotion when you practice. It helps with memory and makes your speech more engaging. Try shadowing this dialogue, focusing on copying the rhythm rather than perfection. Remember, fluency in storytelling is about connecting events smoothly, so practice using then, after that, and so to link your ideas. Now, listen to the natural version one more time and imagine you're telling your own story. You've got this. Excellent. You're doing incredible work, and with every conversation, you're building a stronger, more intuitive understanding of spoken English. Now, let's move into a slightly more complex but equally common area, discussing preferences and making a joint decision. This is where you move beyond simple exchanges and into the flow of a collaborative conversation. It requires understanding not just facts, but opinions, suggestions, and agreements. Think about trying to decide with a friend what movie to watch or where to eat. It's a dance of ideas, and it's a key skill for social fluency. Today, we'll practice two friends deciding on plans for the evening. This will help you recognize how people politely suggest, agree, disagree, and compromise in real time. Our conversation is between Maria and David. They need to choose a restaurant for dinner. Listen to the first version carefully. Pay attention to the language they use to make suggestions and express their preferences. Maria: so, David, any ideas for dinner tonight? I'm feeling a bit hungry. David: me too. How about we try some Italian food? I haven't had pasta in ages. Maria: Italian sounds good, but I had pizza for lunch. Maybe something different? David: okay, no problem. What do you think about Thai food? There's that new place near the station. Maria: oh, I've heard that's really spicy. I'm not sure I'm in the mood for very spicy food today. David: that's fair. We could go for something simpler, like burgers? Maria: actually, yeah, burgers sound perfect. There's that great burger shop on Main Street. David: great idea. Let's go there. What time should we meet? Maria: is 7:30 okay for you? David: 7:30 is perfect. See you then. Good. You can see the pattern of suggestion, counter-suggestion, and finally, agreement. Now, let's listen to how this sounds in a natural, fast-paced chat between friends. Notice how they use filler words and shorter phrases to keep the conversation moving smoothly. Maria: so, David, what you wanna do for dinner? I'm starvin'. David: tell me about it. How about Italian? I haven't had pasta in ages. Maria: Italian's good, but I had pizza for lunch. Something else maybe? David: sure, no worries. What about Thai? That new place by the station? Maria: oh, I heard that's super spicy. Not sure I'm up for that tonight. David: gotcha. We could just do burgers or something? Maria: yeah, actually, burgers sound awesome. There's that great spot on Main Street. David: sold. Let's do it. What time? Maria: 7:30 work for you? David: 7:30's good. See ya then. Hear the difference? The language is much more compact. What do you want becomes what you wanna, and I am starving becomes I'm starvin'. David uses how about instead of how about, and Maria says something else maybe, instead of maybe something different. This is the essence of informal spoken English. Also, note how David says gotcha to mean I understand, and sold, to show he enthusiastically agrees. These small words and phrases are the glue of natural conversation. A key listening tip here is to focus on the words that signal opinion and agreement. Phrases like how about, what about, maybe, and actually are your cues that a suggestion or a slight disagreement is coming. Words like sounds good, perfect, awesome, and sold signal agreement. When you train your ear to catch these signals, you can follow the conversation's direction even if you miss a few words. Practice this dialogue by playing both parts. Try to use the same intonation. When Maria says something else maybe, her voice might rise at the end, making it sound like a gentle question. This practice will make your own conversational skills much more dynamic and natural. You're not just learning words, you're learning the art of interaction. You're making fantastic progress. We've navigated social chats, phone calls, and even making plans. But now, let's tackle a scenario that can cause real anxiety, explaining a problem and seeking help. Specifically, we're going to practice a conversation you might have at a pharmacy. Whether it's a headache, a small allergy, or a minor cut, being able to describe your symptoms clearly and understand the pharmacist's advice is an invaluable skill. This dialogue will introduce you to common health-related vocabulary, but more importantly, it will train your ear to catch crucial instructions about dosage and safety, which are often spoken quickly. Listen to this first version at a clear, measured pace. Focus on how the customer describes the problem and how the pharmacist asks clarifying questions before giving recommendations. Customer, excuse me, I need some help please. Pharmacist, of course. What seems to be the problem? Customer, I have a terrible headache. I've had it since this morning, and it won't go away. Pharmacist, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you experiencing any other symptoms? Like a fever or nausea? Customer, no, just the headache. I think it might be because I didn't sleep well last night. Pharmacist, I see. Well, I can recommend this pain relief medication. It's very effective for headaches. You should take 2 tablets with a full glass of water. Customer, thank you. How often can I take it? Pharmacist, do not take more than 2 tablets every 4 hours. And make sure you rest and drink plenty of water. Customer, I will. Thank you for your help. Okay, that was very clear. You heard key phrases like terrible headache, other symptoms, and important instructions about dosage. Now, let's hear how this interaction would sound in a real pharmacy, where the speech is faster and more efficient. The customer might be feeling unwell, so their speech could be a little less formal, and the pharmacist will be professional but quick. Customer, excuse me, I need a bit of help. Pharmacist, sure, what's going on? Customer, I've got a really bad headache. Had it all morning, just won't shift. Pharmacist, oh, that's no good. Any other symptoms? Fever? Feeling sick? Customer, no, just the headache. Probably from a bad night's sleep. Pharmacist, right. Well, I'd suggest these tablets. They're good for headaches. Take 2 with a full glass of water. Customer, thanks. How often? Pharmacist, no more than 2 every 4 hours. And try to get some rest, drink lots of water. Customer, will do. Thanks a lot. Hear the natural flow? What seems to be the problem became the more casual what's going on. The customer said won't shift instead of won't go away, which is a common informal alternative. The pharmacist used I'd suggest instead of I can recommend, and the instruction do not take was phrased more conversationally as no more than 2. This is how instructions are often given in everyday English, clear but not overly formal. A critical listening tip for these situations: zero in on the numbers and time frames. Your priority is to catch 2 tablets and every 4 hours. These are the non-negotiable details. Also, notice the softening language the pharmacist uses, I'd suggest. And try to get some rest. This is polite and reassuring. Practice shadowing this conversation, paying special attention to the concerned but helpful tone of the pharmacist and the tired tone of the customer. This will help you not only understand but also reproduce the appropriate emotion in such situations. Remember, in health-related conversations, clarity is safety. Now, listen to the natural version one more time, focusing intensely on the dosage instructions. This practice isn't just about language, it's about empowerment. Incredible! You're building a powerful toolkit for everyday English, from social chats to important situations like the pharmacy. Now, let's explore another universal experience, shopping. But not just buying something, this time, we're dealing with a slight complication. You need to return an item. This conversation requires clarity, politeness, and a good understanding of common store policies. It's a fantastic way to practice stating a problem calmly and understanding the solutions offered by a customer service representative. The language here is key to being a confident consumer in an English-speaking country. Our dialogue is between a customer, Liam, and a store assistant, Sophie. Liam is returning a shirt that doesn't fit. Listen to the first version for the structure of the interaction. Notice how Liam explains the reason for the return and how Sophie guides him through the process. Liam, hello, I'd like to return this shirt, please. Sophie, certainly. Do you have the receipt with you? Liam, yes, here it is. Sophie, thank you. May I ask what the reason for the return is? Liam, it's the wrong size. It's too small for me. Sophie, I understand. Would you like to exchange it for the correct size, or would you prefer a refund? Liam, a refund would be great, thank you. Sophie, of course. That's not a problem. I'll just process this for you. It will be refunded to your original payment method. It might take a few days to appear in your account. Liam, that's fine. Thank you for your help. Sophie, you're welcome. Have a nice day. Good. That was a straightforward and polite exchange. You heard key phrases like I'd like to return this, do you have the receipt, and the options exchange or refund. Now, let's listen to how this sounds in a busy store, where the assistant might speak a little faster, using common retail shorthand. Liam, hi, I need to return this shirt, please. Sophie, sure, do you have the receipt? Liam, yep, right here. Sophie, thanks. Okay, what's the reason for the return? Liam, it's too small. Just doesn't fit. Sophie, got it. Did you want to exchange it for a different size, or just get a refund? Liam, just a refund, please. Sophie, no problem. I can do that for you right now. The money'll go back on your card, should show up in a couple of days. Liam, perfect, thanks. Sophie, you're welcome. Have a good one. Hear the natural flow? I would like became I need to or simply I'd like is common. Certainly became sure. Sophie says did you wanna? Instead of would you like to, which is very common in spoken English. A couple of days becomes a couple of days. The information is identical, but the delivery is more efficient and casual. A crucial tip for understanding these service interactions: listen for the key nouns and verbs that define the transaction. Your brain should latch onto words like return, receipt, size, exchange, refund, card, and days. These are the pillars of the conversation. The surrounding words are important, but these keywords will give you the core meaning. Also, notice the polite but efficient intonation. Liam states his problem calmly, and Sophie uses a helpful tone. Practice this dialogue, focusing on maintaining a polite and patient tone even if you have to imagine a slight inconvenience. This will prepare you for real-life situations where staying calm and clear is the key to a smooth resolution. You're not just learning to return a shirt, you're learning to advocate for yourself politely and effectively in English. You've just handled a return like a pro, and that confidence is exactly what we're building with every practice session. But let's shift gears from solving problems to building connections. How do you answer when someone asks, "So, what do you do for fun?" For many learners, talking about hobbies can be tricky. You might know the words for your interests, but stringing them together into a smooth, natural-sounding description feels challenging. You don't want to just list activities, you want to share your passion. That's the key to moving from simple answers to real conversations. Today, we're going to practice how to talk about hobbies and interests in a way that sounds fluent and engaging. This is about adding color to your conversations and making them more memorable. Our dialogue features two coworkers, Emma and Tom, who are on their lunch break. They're getting to know each other better by talking about what they like to do in their free time. This is perfect for practicing present tense for habits, adverbs of frequency, and vocabulary for leisure activities. Listen to the first version at a slower pace. Focus on how they describe their hobbies and ask follow-up questions to keep the conversation flowing. Emma: "So, Tom, what do you usually do in your free time?" Tom: "Well, I'm really into photography. I love going out on weekends and taking pictures of the city." Emma: "Oh, that sounds interesting. What kind of camera do you use?" Tom: "I have a mirrorless camera. It's not too big, so it's easy to carry around." "How about you? What are your hobbies?" Emma: "I'm a big reader. I try to read for at least an hour every evening. It helps me relax." Tom: "What genre do you like?" Emma: "Mostly mystery novels. I love trying to solve the crime before the end of the book." Tom: "That's cool. I should read more. Do you have any recommendations?" Okay, that was a friendly and structured chat. You heard phrases like "I'm really into," "I love," and follow-up questions like "what kind of," and "how about you?" Now, let's listen to how this conversation sounds in a natural, casual setting between colleagues. The pace will be quicker, with more contractions and informal language. Emma: "So, Tom, what do you usually get up to in your free time?" Tom: "Oh, I'm really into photography. Love going out on weekends, taking pics of the city." Emma: "Oh, nice. What kind of camera do you use?" Tom: "I've got a mirrorless one. Not too big, so it's easy to carry around." "How about you? What are your hobbies?" Emma: "I'm a huge reader. Try to read for like an hour every night. Helps me unwind." Tom: "What sort of books do you like?" Emma: "Mostly mysteries. Love trying to figure out who did it before the end." Tom, that's awesome. I should read more. Got any good recommendations? Hear the difference? What do you became what you, and taking pictures softened to talking pics. Emma says what kind of is what kinda, and Tom uses how about you, instead of how about you. Notice how I try to read becomes try to read, with I implied, and it helps me relax is more casually expressed as helps me unwind. These small changes make the dialogue flow much more naturally. A vital tip for talking about hobbies: use adverbs of frequency to sound more natural. Words like usually, often, sometimes, and always add context to your habits. For example, I usually go hiking on Sundays sounds better than just I go hiking. Also, pay attention to the intonation when expressing interest. When Emma says "oh, nice," her voice likely rises with enthusiasm, showing genuine curiosity. When you practice, mimic this energy, it makes your conversation more engaging. Try shadowing this dialogue, focusing on copying the rhythm and the linking of words. Then, think about your own hobbies and practice describing them using the same sentence structures. Remember, the goal is not to be perfect, but to be understood and to connect with others. Now, listen to the natural version one more time and imagine you're sharing your own passions. You're building the skills to have richer, more personal conversations in English. You're doing brilliantly. We've covered so much ground, from casual chats to specific situations. Now, let's step into a context that is crucial for many learners: the workplace. Even if you don't work in an English-speaking office, understanding a simple workplace conversation helps you follow scenes in movies, engage in broader discussions, and feel more confident in professional settings. Today, we'll practice a very common task: scheduling a meeting. This might sound formal, but in many modern offices, the language is quite casual and collaborative. The key is to catch the specific details: the day, the time, the place, amidst the friendly back and forth. Our conversation is between two colleagues, Rachel and Mark. Rachel needs to schedule a brief meeting with Mark to discuss a project. Listen to this first version to get comfortable with the vocabulary and the structure of the request. Rachel: Hi Mark, do you have a quick minute? Mark: Sure, Rachel. What's up? Rachel: I wanted to talk about the upcoming project. Would it be possible to meet sometime this week? Mark: Of course. Let me check my calendar. How about Wednesday afternoon? I'm free after 2 p.m. Rachel: Wednesday at 2 p.m. works for me. Should we meet in the small conference room? Mark: The small conference room is perfect. I'll book it for us. Rachel: Great. I'll send you a calendar invitation with the details. Mark: Thanks, see you then. Okay, that was clear and polite. You heard key phrases like would it be possible to meet, how about, and specific terms like check my calendar and conference room. Now, let's hear how this sounds in a more fast-paced, informal office environment. The language will be more direct and efficient. Rachel: Hey Mark, you got a sec? Mark: Yeah, what's going on? Rachel: I wanted to chat about the new project. Think we could meet up this week? Mark: Sure thing. Let me check my schedule. What about Wednesday afternoon? I'm free after 2. Rachel: Wednesday at 2's good. Wanna just meet in the small conference room? Mark: Small conference room works. I'll grab it for us. Rachel: Awesome. I'll send you a calendar invite. Mark, perfect. Catch you then. Hear the natural flow? Do you have a quick minute? Became the much more common you got a sec? Would it be possible change to the more direct think we could? How about became what about, and should we meet turned into the casual wanna just meet? Mark says I'll book it as I'll grab it, which is a very informal way to say you'll reserve something. These shifts are small but make a huge difference in sounding natural. A crucial listening tip for scheduling conversations: focus like a laser on the time and place prepositions. Your brain must catch Wednesday, afternoon, after 2, and in the small conference room. These are the critical details. Also, notice the intonation. When Rachel suggests wanna just meet in the small conference room, her voice might rise slightly at the end, making it a suggestion rather than a statement. Practice this dialogue by shadowing, and pay special attention to linking words like Wednesday_at 2, which often sound like one word. This is how you train your ear to catch the essential information quickly. You're not just learning to schedule a meeting, you're learning to navigate the subtle, efficient language of collaboration. After mastering the collaborative language of the workplace, it's time to focus on a conversation that impacts our well-being directly, making a doctor's appointment. I remember feeling a knot in my stomach the first time I had to call a clinic in English. What if I couldn't explain my symptoms clearly? What if I misunderstood the instructions? This fear is common, but overcoming it is incredibly empowering. Being able to navigate healthcare conversations calmly and effectively is not just about vocabulary, it's about confidence and clarity when it matters most. Today, we'll practice a phone call to schedule an appointment. This will help you master the language of dates, times, and brief symptom description, all while training your ear to catch essential details spoken efficiently by receptionists. Our dialogue is between a patient, Daniel, and a medical receptionist, Mrs. Evans. Daniel needs to see a doctor for a persistent cough. Listen to this first version at a clear pace. Focus on how Daniel states his reason for calling and how the receptionist gathers necessary information. Daniel, hello, I'd like to make an appointment with Dr. Smith, please. Receptionist, good morning. Of course. May I have your name and date of birth first? Daniel, yes, it's Daniel Brown. My date of birth is June 15, 1985. Receptionist, thank you, Mr. Brown. What is the reason for your visit today? Daniel, I've had a bad cough for about a week, and I'm feeling quite tired. Receptionist, I see. We have an available slot this Thursday at 10 a.m. Would that work for you? Daniel, Thursday at 10 a.m.? Yes, that should be fine. Receptionist, perfect. I have you down for Thursday at 10 a.m. with Dr. Smith. Please arrive 15 minutes early to complete any paperwork. Daniel, I will. Thank you very much. Receptionist, you're welcome. We'll see you then. Okay, that was structured and polite. You heard key phrases like make an appointment, reason for your visit, and important details like dates and times. Now, let's listen to how this sounds in a real-life phone call. Receptionists are often busy, so their speech might be quicker but still clear. Notice the natural flow and reductions. Daniel, hi, I need to make an appointment with Dr. Smith, please. Receptionist, good morning. Sure, what's your name and date of birth? Daniel Brown, June 15, 1985. Receptionist, thanks, Mr. Brown. What's this regarding? Daniel, I've had this cough for a week now, and I'm really tired. Receptionist, okay. We've got an opening Thursday at 10 a.m. Work for you? Daniel, Thursday at 10? Yeah, that works. Receptionist, great, you're all set for Thursday at 10 with Drive Smith. Try to get here about 15 minutes early to fill out some forms. Daniel, will do. Thanks a lot. Receptionist, no problem. See you Thursday. Hear the difference? I would like became I need to, and may I have changed to what's your name? What is the reason was shortened to what's this regarding, which is very common. The receptionist says we've got an opening instead of we have an available slot, and work for you is a casual form of would that work for you? These changes make the conversation faster and more direct. A critical listening tip for appointment setting: prioritize numbers and specific terms. Your brain must catch the date, Thursday, time, 10 a.m., and any instructions like 15 minutes early. These are the anchors of the conversation. Also, practice recognizing questions that seek specific information. What's your name? What's your date of birth? What's this regarding? These are standard, so being ready for them reduces anxiety. When you practice, shadow the dialogue, paying close attention to the polite but efficient tone of the receptionist. This will help you respond calmly and clearly in real situations. Remember, in healthcare communication, precision is key, so confirming details like Thursday at 10 is always a good habit. You're not just learning to make an appointment, you're learning to take control of your health in English. You've just successfully navigated a healthcare call, a huge step in functional fluency. Now, let's talk about a conversation that is all about hope, ambition, and connection, discussing future plans and goals. This is where language becomes more than just practical, it becomes personal. Sharing your dreams for the future, whether it's a career change, a travel goal, or a personal project, requires a different set of tools. You need to express intentions, possibilities, and hopes. I found that when I learned to talk about my future in English, it stopped feeling like a foreign language and started feeling like my language. It's a powerful shift. Today, we'll practice a conversation between two friends discussing their goals for the next year. This is perfect for practicing future tenses, conditional structures, and vocabulary of aspiration. Our dialogue features Sophia and Leo, who are catching up over coffee. They're talking about what they want to achieve in the coming months. Listen to the first version to get comfortable with the expressions of future intention and the supportive language friends use. Sophia: so, Leo, the year is going by so quickly. Do you have any big plans for the rest of the year? Leo: actually, I do. I'm thinking about finally starting that online course in graphic design. It's something I've wanted to do for ages. Sophia: that's a fantastic idea. You've always been so creative. When are you planning to start? Leo: I'm hoping to enroll next month. It's part-time, so I can manage it with my current job. What about you? Any goals? Sophia: well, my goal is to save enough money to visit Japan next spring. I've been dreaming about it forever. Leo: wow, Japan. That sounds incredible. How are you going to make that happen? Sophia: I'm going to cut down on eating out and put aside a fixed amount every month. It will require some discipline, but I think it's possible. Leo: I'm sure you can do it. We'll have to celebrate when you book your tickets. Okay, that was motivating and clear. You heard phrases like I'm thinking about, I'm hoping to, I'm planning to, and my goal is to. Now, let's listen to how this inspiring chat really sounds between friends. The language will be more fluid and emotionally expressive. Sophia, so, Leo, this year's flying by. Got any big plans for the rest of the year? Leo, yeah, actually. I'm thinking I'm finally gonna start that online course in graphic design. Wanted to do it for ages. Sophia, that's awesome. You're so creative, it's perfect for you. When do you think you'll start? Leo, hoping to enroll next month. It's part-time, so I can juggle it with work. How about you? What's your goal? Sophia, well, I'm really trying to save up for a trip to Japan next spring. Been dreaming about it forever. Leo, Japan? No way, that's amazing. How are you gonna pull that off? Sophia, gonna cut back on takeaways and save a bit each month. Gotta be strict, but I reckon I can do it. Leo, you totally can. We'll have to go out for a drink when you book it. Hear the natural enthusiasm? I am thinking about becomes I'm thinking I'm finally gonna start. I am going to is almost always I'm gonna in informal speech. Sophia says I'm really trying to, which shows effort, and I reckon I can do it is a very natural alternative to I think it's possible. Leo's supportive phrase you totally can is more emphatic than the formal I'm sure you can do it. A vital tip for discussing the future, focus on the verbs of intention. Words and phrases like gonna, hoping to, planning to, trying to, and want to are your signals that someone is talking about a plan or a goal. The intonation is also key. Notice how Leo's voice probably rises with excitement when he says that's awesome, and how Sophia's determination comes through in gotta be strict. When you practice, put that same emotion into your voice. It makes the language come alive. Shadow this conversation, and then pause to talk about your own goals using these same sentence structures. You're learning to do more than just speak English, you're learning to share your future in English. Perfect! You're learning to articulate your dreams, which is a beautiful aspect of fluency. Now, let's explore a conversation that requires a delicate balance, giving advice. This is where we move beyond sharing our own stories and into the realm of supporting others. Knowing how to offer suggestions politely, without sounding imposing, is a subtle art in any language. In English, we often use softeners like maybe, have you thought about, or one idea could be to make advice sound collaborative rather than commanding. Today, we'll practice a conversation where one friend seeks guidance on a common challenge, improving their English skills. This will allow us to recycle some of our practice themes while focusing on the language of suggestion and encouragement. Our dialogue is between Clara, who is feeling frustrated with her progress, and her friend Noah, who offers support and ideas. Listen to the first version to hear how advice is framed in a supportive, non-intrusive way. Clara, Noah, can I ask you for some advice? I feel like my English isn't getting any better. I study, but I don't feel more fluent. Noah, I understand how you feel. It's a common plateau. What are you doing to practice right now? Clara, mostly just vocabulary apps and grammar exercises. Noah, okay. Well, one thing that really helped me was to focus more on listening. Maybe you could try listening to English podcasts every day? Clara, that's a good idea. But what if I don't understand everything? Noah, you don't have to understand every word. The goal is to get your ears used to the rhythm. Another thing you could do is try to think in English for a few minutes each day. Clara, think in English? How does that work? Noah, just simple thoughts, like I need a coffee or it's a sunny day. It helps you form connections without translating. Clara, those are really helpful suggestions. Thanks, Noah. Noah, anytime. Just remember to be patient with yourself. Okay, that was supportive and clear. You heard key advice phrases like one thing that helped me, maybe you could try, and another thing you could do. Now, let's listen to how this comforting and helpful conversation sounds in a natural, friendly tone. Clara, Noah, can I get your advice? I'm just stuck. My English doesn't seem to be improving. I study, but I'm not getting more fluent. Noah, I get that. Happens to everyone. What's your practice like now? Clara, mostly just vocab apps and some grammar stuff. Noah, right. You know, what really helped me was focusing on listening. Have you thought about trying English podcasts daily? Clara, that's a thought. But I'm worried I won't get it all. Noah, you don't need to catch every single word. It's more about getting the rhythm. Another idea, try thinking in English for a few minutes a day. Clara, think in English? How'd you mean? Noah, just little stuff, like I'm hungry or this bus is late. It helps your brain switch gears without translation. Clara, that's actually really helpful. Thanks, Noah. Noah, no worries. Just don't be too hard on yourself. Hear the natural flow? What are you doing became what's your practice like? Maybe you could try transformed into the more collaborative have you thought about trying? Noah uses you know as a filler to soften his suggestion and another idea instead of another thing you could do. The language is less structured but feels more like a genuine conversation between friends. A crucial tip for understanding advice: listen for the suggestion verbs and softeners. Words like maybe, perhaps, try, how about, and one idea are your cues that a piece of advice is coming. The intonation is also important. Noah's tone is likely calm and encouraging, not forceful. When you practice this dialogue, focus on that supportive tone. It's not just about the words, it's about the warmth behind them. Try shadowing both roles, and when you're Noah, imagine you're genuinely trying to help a friend. This will train you to both give and receive advice effectively in English, strengthening your conversational skills and your connections with others. You've just learned how to give and receive advice with grace, a skill that deepens any friendship. Now, let's tackle a listening challenge that can cause panic even for advanced learners: understanding public announcements. Whether you're in a train station, an airport, or a busy store, these announcements are often muffled, spoken quickly, and full of specific vocabulary. I can't count how many times I've strained to hear a gate number or a delay announcement, my heart pounding. But once you learn the common patterns and phrases, you can tune your ear to pick out the crucial information. This practice will make travel and navigating public spaces in English-speaking countries so much less stressful. Our scene is a bustling train station. A traveler, Elena, is waiting for her train when an announcement comes over the loudspeaker. We'll listen to it first at a slower, clearer pace. Focus on identifying the key information: the train number, the destination, the platform, and any important status updates. Announcer, attention please. This is an announcement for the 10:15 a.m. train service to Bristol Temple Meads. The 10:15 a.m. service to Bristol Temple Meads is now ready for boarding. Please proceed to platform 4. We apologize for the delay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, that was deliberately clear. You heard the time, destination, platform number, and an apology for a delay. Now, let's hear how this would realistically sound in a noisy station, with the announcer speaking much faster and with more connected speech. This is the real test of your listening skills. Announcer, attention please. Announcement for the 10:15 service to Bristol Temple Meads. The 10:15 to Bristol Temple Meads is now ready for boarding. Please make your way to platform 4. We apologize for the delay. Thank you. Hear the difference? The articulation is less precise. 10:15 a.m. becomes 10:15, and this is an announcement for is shortened to announcement for. Proceed to is replaced with the more common make your way to. The final thank you for your patience is cut to a simple thank you. The rhythm is also very different, with words blending together in a stream of sound. A vital tip for decoding announcements: don't try to understand every word. Your goal is to catch the keywords. Train your brain to listen for the numbers, like 10:15 and platform 4, and the destination, Bristol Temple Meads. These are the anchors. The rest of the words are often formulaic, like attention please, ready for boarding, and apologize for the delay. Once you know these standard phrases, you can filter out the noise and focus on the changing details. Another trick is to listen for the stress. The most important words are stressed: boarding, platform 4, delay. Let your ear be drawn to those emphasized syllables. Practice this announcement several times, and try to write down just the key facts: time, destination, platform, status. This trains you for the real world, where you often only get one chance to hear it. You're not just listening, you're learning to filter essential information from the background noise of real life. And here we are. You've just successfully decoded a complex public announcement, a true sign of a developing and confident ear. Think back to that very first conversation, the simple act of ordering a coffee. Now, you're navigating train stations, understanding advice, discussing future dreams, and handling appointments. Look at how far you've come. This journey we've been on together wasn't just about learning to hear English, it was about learning to think in it, to anticipate its rhythms, and to feel its flow. You have trained your brain to move from isolated words to meaningful chunks of language, and that is the fundamental shift towards fluency. I want you to take a moment and appreciate this progress. Every conversation you practiced, every reduction you mastered, every time you shadowed a speaker, you were building a new neural pathway. You were quite literally rewiring your brain for English. The hesitation you might have felt at the beginning should now be replaced with a growing sense of confidence. You have the tools. You understand the methodology: active listening, repetition, and focused breakdowns. This isn't the end of your practice, this is the beginning of your independence. You now know how to practice effectively. So, what's next? Keep listening. Every day. Find podcasts on topics you love, watch movies with English subtitles, then without them, listen to music and try to decipher the lyrics. The world is full of authentic English content, and you are now equipped to use it as your personal classroom. The goal was never perfection, it was progress. And you have made so much of it. Thank you for allowing me to guide you on this part of your language learning adventure. Remember, fluency is a path, not a destination. You are walking it beautifully. Keep going, keep listening, and keep surprising yourself with what you can understand. You've got this.